Hey Dan, welcome to the podcast. Super happy to have you here, man.
Yeah, man. I know we've been trying to do it for a while.
Bro, I've been following you for 4 years actually. It's been a long time.
You're not sick of me yet?
Not yet. I actually like you, man, because you say it how it is.
Yeah.
And you're not scared of like controversy, which I really like.
Yeah. Well, I already have money, so.
That's true. So I just want to hear a little bit more about your story of how you became such a successful person, but you said you were a pizza delivery person,
Yeah.
right? Can you just walk me through your story a little bit?
I mean, long story short, I remembered some advice I got from a billionaire. When I was younger, I worked for a very short time at this sales company, and it was owned by a billionaire. And it was the same company where Billy Mays, the OxyClean guy, got his start. And one day I got to sit next to him lunch, and I asked him, I said, hey, Jeff, how do I get rich? And he looks at me and he says, well, how many books did you read this week on how to get rich? And I was like, none. And he's like, so you don't read books on money, persuasion, sales, marketing, nothing? And I'm like, no. And he's like, well, then don't sit here and tell me you want to get rich, because people who want to get rich read books on how to get rich. And he's like, you're wasting my time. Now, years later, after I've been delivering pizza for 7 years, I was like, okay, I gotta, and I did other things too. I delivered pizza, I had little small businesses, they didn't really take off. And years later, I remembered that advice, and I just picked up a book and I read it. And then I picked up another one and I read it. And I picked up another one and I read it. And I read about 100 books on business, and it made me a millionaire. And it was really just that simple. I could tell you some glamorous story, but the truth is, I just read what I needed to know and I did it, and it worked. And so what I like to do is, I know that most people are not going to read 100 books on business. They don't have time. Like, it's hard to survive these days. So I try to share in my content like the things that I learned from that whole experience.
Okay, so what was the first book that you read?
One of the first books was the 48 Laws of Power.
That's a good one.
Yeah, which most people associate that book with being evil. But see, I believe in life you have A players and you have B players. And A players are people that know how to think, and B players are people who just go through life, not really thinking. And anytime a B player can become an A player, okay? But a B player will look at a book like that and go, oh, that book's evil. It's about dictators. Okay, great. Enjoy your one-bedroom apartment. An A player will look at that book and go, okay, I'm not going to use it for evil. I'm not a dictator. I'm not going to be a dick. I'm going to learn from what these men did, and I'm going to figure out how to profit off it in an ethical way. And so if you look at speech tactics from people who have influenced the masses, you will find the same speech tactics were used by Hitler, Gandhi, Trump, Obama, Mother Teresa. Like, just because a tactic exists doesn't mean it can only be used for good or evil. It can be used for both.
Yeah, the tactic is neutral.
Right, the tactic is neutral. Yeah. So don't judge the person that used it. Just learn the tactic and use it, hopefully, for good. That's how an A player thinks. B player just gets judgmental, passes it off, and never learns from it.
Yeah, that's so true. But that book, when I introduced it to my friends, some of them said it's like very manipulative.
You can use it for manipulation, or you can use it to do amazing things. Like, for instance, never outshine the master. Okay, that's a law. So you can use that from, say, let's say you're in a community, right? And let's say the leader of the community you've learned from, and you've done amazing things because you've learned from that mentor. Well, a lot of people will reach out to you and potentially work with you, potentially pay to work with you because you're a star student. But if you trash the main mentor and you're like, oh, I know how to do it better, you look like a dick, you sound like a dick, you are a dick, and you will now cut off that, like, they will disassociate with you, you will not have that attention anymore. No. But if you always give credit to the mentor, even if you think you can do it better, don't say that. Give credit to the mentor, because that mentor is going to view you as a prodigy and they're going to prop you up. But if you insult them, you've just lost all that attention that you could have got. All of that prop up, gone. And so that can be used in a good way, not in a manipulative way.
Yeah, You're right. I think this is what I've learned, okay? People always ask me what kind of skills is very important in like business and stuff. And I think big one is communication.
Yeah.
How to communicate. Do you agree with that?
I believe the skills you should learn are the universal skills that can apply to any business. That's what you can learn, because the very specific skills you can hire for that. You can outsource for that. You can you can probably use the software for that, okay? But universal skills that grow any business, those are the most valuable. And the best one is how to use words, copywriting, okay?
Yeah.
Because if you know what to say, I mean, words are very powerful. Every president was elected or not elected because of the words they chose to say to the people. Every relationship started and ended because of the words that were chosen. Every war started and ended because of words. Words are very, very, very powerful. And if you know how to grow a business with words, you know what to say, that is called copywriting. It's called copy.
Yeah.
And copy is king and kings rule the world, period.
Copy is king and king rule the world.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. But do you think learning the skill of copywriting, can anybody do it?
I think, look, I'm a believer that anybody can do anything, unless you're like a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. Then probably not. But on average,
Yeah.
most people, if they apply themselves, can do most things. That doesn't mean you can do them well, but it means you can do them a lot better than 99% of people. Why? Because 99% of people don't try at all.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. Oh, I'm not going to be good at that. People are so much better. Yeah, but you'll be better than most people because most people don't even try.
Yeah.
So, yes, I believe anybody can learn to wield words and use words in a more effective way. 100%.
Yeah, words. I think I saw a reel by you. You talked about this, right?
Yeah.
About how words are the most powerful thing.
Yeah.
And it's so true. But at the same time, do you think, so copywriting is basically words in, sales in words format. That's basically
Yeah, but even if you try to tell your 5-year-old to eat their vegetables, what you say, that's still copy.
Yeah, you're selling the kid on
Yeah.
why you should.
You're always selling.
Yeah.
Like, imagine it this way. You're walking down the street and you see 2 lemonade stands, okay? One lemonade stand says freshly squeezed lemonade. The other lemonade stand says yellow water with sugar. Which one do you buy?
Yeah, the freshly squeezed.
Freshly squeezed. But it's the same friggin' product. They bought it from the same place. But why? Because this one chose better words to say to describe what they did. People don't buy good products. They buy good sounding products. So if your product is good and you don't know how to make it sound good, you're doing yourself a great disservice and you're leaving a ton of money on the table.
Do you have an example of something that you did where you just changed the words that made a lot of difference for you or for your client?
So yeah, so I'll give you an example, right? Sometimes when I'm not super busy, I sell private consulting for $50,000. Now that's a lot of money. Let's not.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. Okay, I don't care who you are. That's a lot of money, and you know, you get to hang out with me for the day. You get my cell phone number, blah blah blah, whatever. But at the end of the day, how you talk about that really makes a difference. Because when I said, "Hey, get private coaching for $50,000," hey, get a one-on-one with me for $50,000, but when I say, "Hey, I'll be your personal part-time CMO for $50,000," then they're like, "Wait a minute, I'm interested." You see?
Yeah.
So, because it just sounds so much better. It's like, oh my God, I can bounce ideas off of Dan for my marketing anytime I want. I just send him a text and see what he thinks. If you're a business owner and you do a lot of marketing and you spend a lot of money on marketing, you know that getting that feedback can save you more than $50,000.
But time.
And time.
Yeah.
But if I say, oh, it's just $50,000 for private coaching, it's like, ugh. Okay, but if it's $50,000 for being your part-time CMO that you can reach out to anytime, now all of a sudden it seems like a bargain. So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same exact thing. But when I say that, people are like, oh, yes, of course. So, and they pay.
That's true. But with your private coaching, so you actually did that change. You actually made the shift. And do you sell it on a VSL or something? So
no, I don't actually have a VSL for it because it's not something that I do a lot. So sometimes I'll just post a reel or I'll post a post and I'll say, hey, I'm
like a story.
Like a story,
yeah.
or and my team will field some people. They'll get some people that are interested, and we'll sign up 1 or 2 people. And that's all. I'm good for like a little bit. I don't want 30 clients texting me all day long. So I only take on some at a time. And then what I also do is we have a $100,000 where I help you script an event. Now you say, okay, well, why would that be worth 100,000? Because if you have 200-300 people at an event, virtual or in person, and I tell you exactly what to say, you're going to make a lot of money. Because I mean, I'm one of the best in the world at that. I've had $1 million day doing that multiple times. And so, and I've had clients who have done hundreds of thousands of dollars with like a very small amount of people in the room, because I know what to say on stage to sell one-to-many very effectively, because I've been doing it for years. So what I do is I'll charge $100,000 and I'll help them script it all out, and then, you know, they can use that for years and years, and they can make 6, sometimes 7 figures per event. So it makes sense for them, you know, but that takes my time, because I got to actually sit there and work with them and do it. So these are just like side things that I do. That's not our main business.
And what's your main business?
So right now we have, I like living a very chill life. Okay. I used to sell like high-end, you know, or like $10,000, $15,000 consulting programs, and you work with my team and all this stuff. But I like to live a very chill life right now. So right now we sell a copywriting software designed for beginners. So it allows you to start your own copywriting business and, you know, make, I mean, you can charge $500, $1,000, $2,000 a month to some clients, and you use our software Artimo to write the copy for you. Promptless, just, I want to write this, it asks you the questions, pops out amazing copy. And we have that so that beginners can get started. And you know, I encourage people, learn the art of copywriting.
Yep.
But to get you started, to get you making money, just use this to do it. And it's kind of like me writing the copy, because we trained our own AI on all of my frameworks. So it like I've had people use it and they're like, God, it sounds like Dan wrote my copy. I'm like, well, I kind of did. So we do that. And then I have a membership site called Get Clients University. It's very, very affordable. And it's just it's a community, and you basically get to borrow my 8-figure marketing teams. There's a call every week. There's training. So I'm just doing that. But that's not to say I won't do seminars or but I like this. I like chilling in Dubai. There's a lot to do in Dubai. I don't have time to mess around with other stuff. And I'm happy, man. You know, I'm happy. So
I want to talk about your software a little bit.
Okay.
So for beginners, what is the fastest way to make money online now?
I believe it's a service, not a product. Because when you try to sell a product, you got to create the product. You got to make sure it's good. You have to invest in it. When you do a service, it's like, hey, I will do this thing for you. You give me money. The problem is, how do you perform that service? There's 3 ways, okay? In the old days, the way when I got started, you had to learn a skill, like, say, copywriting. Yep. And then you had to get good at that skill, and then you would go out and get clients, and then you would perform, you would deliver the copy. You would do it yourself. The problem with this is you have to do the work. And see, for the longest time, the people in life who are the richest realize that the key to getting rich is to make other people do the work for them. That's why you have bosses and employees. Employees make less than the boss, because the boss figured out, wait a minute, why am I going to do the work myself? I have somebody else do it, pay them this, charge that. And so the second way to do it is arbitrage. This has become very popular, is you sell a client on, say, a $2,000 a month email copywriting service. Then you go out and you hire an email copywriter and you pay them $1,000 a month. So now all you have to do is get the client. You don't have to write any copy. You don't even have to know anything about copy. And you pay the copywriter, you pocket $1,000. The problem with that is 2 things. Number 1, you have to actually go out and hire and fire and manage and make sure, and that's a pain in the butt. That's almost harder than learning to write copy. The second thing is you only get to keep a small percentage of the money compared to the full amount, because you got to pay them. Now the third way, the way that is the new way that most people don't know about, but they're starting to catch on, and this is because of the new AI economy. That's what we're entering right now, the new AI economy. And this is where you use AI, you sell a service, and you use AI to do the work. And you can do it in seconds. You don't have to know how to do it, and you don't have to pay AI. You don't have to pay anybody, so you keep all the money. So to me, the fastest way to make money is to sell a service that you can use AI to fulfill. And that's why we created our software. It's literally specifically designed to do that.
Yeah. Okay, AI has been a big thing the last year or so, right?
Yeah.
But my problem with it is that I feel like it doesn't teach the person the skills. What if it goes, I don't know, what if something happens and let's say the client says this copy is not that good. He doesn't even know how to tweak the copy. Do you understand?
No, that's not a problem, because we thought of that. In our software, we have what's called a revision tool. So you send the client the copy, and then the client says, well, I like it, but I don't like this part. Well, it doesn't really have my voice. Blah, blah, blah. You just copy the feedback the client gave you, you paste it into the revision tool, you paste your copy in, boom, and it literally redoes the copy according to their feedback.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought of that.
That's pretty, okay,
Yeah.
that's cool now.
I thought of a lot of things in this software. Like, we have a sales assistant. When you're talking to someone over DM trying to sell them, if they have an objection, you paste the objection into the sales assistant, and it tells you what to say based on my sales training.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty
I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. Now, listen, I agree with you. You should learn the skill, because you're not going to, look, I'm going to be honest. Can you get paid $500, $1,000, $2,000 a month using our software to write copy? Yes, you can. But you're not going to get paid $50,000 for a sales page. You're not going to get paid $100,000 to script an event. You're not going to get paid $30,000 to write a sales video like I do. It's another level, okay? It's a whole other thing. And so, you know, I believe that if you make money with this, you'll get a taste for it, and you'll be like, man, I kind of want to learn this skill for real. Because I literally just had landed a client recently, $100,000 for event script writing. That is life changing. If you learn a skill, you get paid $100,000 every time you write something. Yeah. Dude, that's crazy, you know? And so I think you should learn the skill. But the problem is that, look, the government, I don't care what country you're in, especially America, they make it hard on you. Think about this. They say, oh, it's a land of opportunity, right? It's a land of opportunity. Well, as soon as you seize that opportunity, you start making money, they tax you to death. Yep. And then they make the tax code so complex that you end up paying more than you're actually due because you just don't understand it. See, the truth is, people who aren't rich are simply people who don't know the things that rich people know. And that is how governments and societies keep people poor. They simply don't tell them things. And so if you know things, you can become richer. So I created that tool because I know they're keeping it from you. I know that they're making it hard. So I'm going to give you a head start, and then I really do truly hope that you learn how to actually do it. But you don't have to if you don't want to.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a side hustle kind of thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But
I mean, $10,000 a month is a pretty good.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really good.
If I were you, I would make $10,000 a month. I would move to Costa Rica or Bali or something and live like a millionaire.
You live like a king.
Yeah.
I know like tons of internet marketers that move to Bali and like Thailand. Yeah. Just living their life.
Technically, if you make $10,000 a month, you could actually live decent in Dubai if you know how to do it.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, just don't go to Trove and spend 500 dirham on shisha, you know. Yeah.
Oh, like you did.
Listen, it's very smooth.
Look at that shisha, it's so big.
I did.
Okay, so these people, like these customers of yours, they go out and they help other businesses with their copy and their emails and stuff like that. So how do they actually find these clients? Do you teach them how to do that?
Okay, so this is called the shooting fish in a barrel method. Okay, I actually learned this from a friend of mine. So what you do is, think about this. If you go on Facebook, right, or if you go on Google Maps and you just get a bunch of emails from business owners, or you go on Facebook and you find business owners in business owners groups, you can easily reach out to them, which is called cold outreach, and just say, hey, I'll offer you a sample. I'll write you a free sample, which you can write in seconds using Artimo, and then just, hey, do you like it? Pay. If you don't, don't. And that's a great method, but here's a better one. This is the shooting fish in a barrel method. When you do that, you're reaching out to random business owners. You don't know if they're looking to hire a copywriter or not. But if you go create a profile on Upwork, freelancer, if you go on Indeed and you respond to job postings of people that are already looking to hire copywriters, and you reach out to them, you simply say, hey, I will write you a free sample. I'll write you a week's worth of emails. Just give me a couple hours. If you like it, hire me. If you don't, fine.
Yeah.
That's how we're getting people to get clients, because what's happening is they're asking them some questions, they're copying those questions, pasting them into Artimo, producing the copy, sending it right over, and they're like, oh, this is amazing. Anything you say, well, wait a minute, I'm a beginner. Why would somebody hire me? Yes, you're right. Nobody's gonna hire you if you're a beginner and you don't have any results. You're right. Unless you can do it cheaper, faster, and with zero risk. You can do it cheaper because you're not even doing it. You're just pressing buttons and waiting 10 seconds. So you can definitely offer it at a more competitive rate. You can do it faster because, again, it takes 10 seconds. And you can do it with no risk because it's so low labor for you that you can literally hand it over and say, look, do you like it? Pay. If you don't, don't. So it's no risk for them. I actually tried this. I made a post on my Facebook several months ago just to see if it would work. And I said, hey, I will write you a short book for your business. They call that a lead magnet because the books get the leads. In case any, I know you know that, but, you know. And it's $500. I'll write it for you first, and if you like it, pay. If you don't, don't. So I had 160 comments. I only talked to 5 people because I was busy. 4 people loved the book and paid me $500. 1 person didn't like it. Fine. I made $2,000 in an hour.
Yeah.
In 1 hour. Did a YouTube video on it. But like, think about that. That's bananas, you know? So when you go out and you reach out to businesses who are already looking for what you sell, and you give them a free sample and you do it quickly and you do it with zero risk, the chances of you getting hired are like astronomically higher than just sitting there cold emailing people all day.
Yeah, that's true.
So though that works too.
Yeah.
It's just slower.
Yeah.
So
I want to talk a little bit more about businesses and creating offers, because that's where I'm in.
Okay.
So I want to learn a bit more, pick your brain.
Yeah.
And so when I know you do a lot of consulting as well.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen these Zoom calls you did with a lot of business owners. So they have a product and service, I'm assuming, when they come to you.
Sometimes, or they have an idea and they're trying to get it off
Okay,
the
let's say
ground.
they have an idea.
Okay.
They come to you. Dan, how do I make money from this idea? What do you usually tell them? Like, what's the biggest problem that prevents them from launching?
Well, the first thing is that they want to make money with an idea, which is fundamentally the wrong way to think as an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs don't make money from their ideas. Poor people do that, okay? And then they don't make any. Entrepreneurs go out and they find a group of people that have a problem that no one is solving, and they go and solve it better, okay? Entrepreneurs are people that solve problems that other people don't want to solve, and they get paid handsomely for doing so. So it was Gary Halbert who said, the only thing you need to make money is a starving market. You need a starving crowd, right? If you have a hot dog stand, okay, and you could have anything you want. You could have any type of hot dog machinery. You could have the best hot dogs in the world, right? But if there's no crowd that is hungry, you're not going to sell any hot dogs. You could have the worst hot dog. It could taste like crap, but if you're at a baseball game and you're the only hot dog vendor and there's hundreds of people around, they're all hungry and starving, they're going to buy your hot dogs. End of story.
Yeah.
So a starving crowd is the #1 key to an offer. A starving crowd.
It's kind of like when you're at a theme park and they sell water for like $8 or some shit.
Exactly. You need it.
You need it.
You need
It's
it.
like, fuck, do I really have to buy this?
Yeah,
now?
you need it. And you don't care if it costs more, but you need it. You need it. So you go, you find a market, you find a big problem that they have that they need solved, and you figure out how to solve it. But notice how, as I'm explaining this, I'm only describing this from the point of view of the customer. I don't care what my passions are. I don't care what I want to do. What I want to do is irrelevant. It's BS. It's no one cares, okay? If I want to sell sweaters and I live in Aruba, guess what? You're screwed. You're not selling any sweaters in Aruba. Nobody buys sweaters in Aruba. Sell something else, okay? End of story. So what I like to do is go, okay, what problems are in the market that I can solve? And then I go look at my little bag of skills, okay? And I go, what skills do I have that can solve one of these problems? I pick the problem that my skills can solve, and I make that offer. I don't just come up with an idea and go, how do I get customers for this? That's just a dumb way to think about it. It's just dumb. I mean, I'm not saying a person is dumb. because most people don't know this. They just think, I have an idea, let me figure out how to make money for it. That is dumb. Okay, when you realize it is dumb, you will stop doing it, because that's not how making money works.
Yeah.
It works the other way. Okay, that's why most people never make money from their ideas, because that's fundamentally the wrong way to think about it.
Okay, so do you have an example of someone that came with you an idea that you thought was this is so stupid?
Oh yeah, every personal development offer ever.
But those sell, don't they?
No, dude, they're hard to sell. What makes a personal development offer sell is brand. Okay, brand. Like Tony Robbins sells all kinds of personal branding.
Yeah.
I don't or personal development stuff. Do you buy that because you specifically need help with this or that, or do you buy it because of Tony? You know, you buy it because he's the guru, right? Tony's the guru.
But if I came to you and I said to you, is your life? Do you feel depressed? Is your wife leaving you or something like that? And I come in and say, I can help you with that.
Yeah, but see, that was specific. That you said, are you depressed? Is your wife about to leave you? I can help you. That is a good personal development offer. Most people don't do that. They go, I'm going to help you like level up, and I'm going to help you like ascend and find your true passion and self. All this crap that doesn't mean anything. It means nothing. It's gibberish. You are talking to a wall that has stupid painted on it. Okay? Like, it doesn't mean anything. You know, how many times I talk to these people and they're just like, especially the female coaches, they're the worst. Oh, I'm going to help a woman find her essence. What the hell does that mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything. But believe it or not, the female market actually does, a portion of them does eat that up. But
I think it's because of the emotions they sell.
Yes. Again, brand. Okay? Marie Forleo, right?
Yeah.
She's been selling B School for years. That is a bare, basic, like, super basic vanilla course. It is like, it's good for beginners, but there's nothing special about it, right? And look, I'm not saying anything negative about her, but what's amazing about Marie is that she took a course that is super basic, nothing special, and she sells the crap out of it because her brand is so good. Her brand is so good that she can take something that you can probably go on Udemy for $5 and buy the same thing, okay? You can probably find all the same information on YouTube, but people buy it because it's her. So one of the biggest things for personal development offers is brand. I mean, that's important for any offer, but it's extra important, I believe, for personal development offers.
Is Mind Valley counted as personal development?
Yes, but see, that's a whole nother level, because Mind Valley is, I know some of the people that have worked over there and also at VShred. Those people they succeed because they're so good at VSLs and they split test them to hell and back that it's just, and their whole thing is manifesting. And there's a huge market for that.
Huge.
You say the word manifest and all the hippies just run out and they're just like, yeah, man, let me take my money. I'm just going to poof, you know? Yeah. And so that's a big market for that. And they've really nailed it. They just have that whole Helen Hansel angle, you know, where like, I still cannot believe that the guy talks about this friggin' irrelevant stuff for 30 minutes before he actually tells you what he's selling. And people, it's so good that people are just hung on the story and they just go with it, you know? And they literally sell, it's literally like a 40-minute VSL, no opt-in, direct to like a $200 per year offer, and they do hundreds of millions of dollars. That right there, that is elite level. That is elite level copy.
I had a person came to me for manifesting, like create an offer for her for manifesting. And then I turned it down because I don't even believe in it. That was my main problem with it.
I don't believe in it either, but I can write copy for it.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's ethical or not. It's just for me, when I thought about it, I was like, I don't even believe in it.
Well, it's the ultimate placebo, right? So if it helps you, great. But, you know, if I punch you in the face, you're not going to manifest Mike Tyson, okay? You know, like, you're going to get punched in the face. Like, at a certain point, you got to deal with reality, you know? I honestly think it's just how you describe things. Like, you say, well, I manifested a good body. No, you didn't. You told yourself that you needed to get your fat ass in the gym, and so you did it. You just took action. You didn't manifest shit, okay? You just called it that because you're a weirdo.
Yo, yeah. So, why do you think it sells so well, the manifesting?
Because there's a lot of weirdos.
That many 100 million.
Bro, have you been to America?
I don't want to go anymore, but yeah.
You have?
I've been, yeah.
Okay, bro. All right. Like, people believe in all kinds of weird stuff over there. I mean, people believe in weird stuff everywhere, but in America, it's just, it's like the ultimate people watching country, you know? I mean, go to Walmart at 11 p.m. if you want to see some real characters, you know? And then think, wow, these people are buying things. They got to be buying weird things, you know? And look, weird people are a great market. You know, they're a great market because they live in the clouds. So like all the normal objections for the people down to earth, they don't exist up in the clouds. You can just fly right through them, you know?
It's just insane to me that when I thought about it, like the manifestation market, it was just, it's insanely big. Like,
It is.
And I think with women, it's mainly with women, right?
Do you think most people are gullible?
Yes.
Well, that's why it's such a big market.
Shit. Okay, but you could do that with any market, right? You can tell people that they can lose fat drinking this tea or something.
Dude, the neuropsychology market is not very big. You know, like, I mean, but I can think my way to greatness. Like, that's, you know, or no, not even that. I can wish my way. You can think your way to greatness, but wishing your way to it, I don't know. I don't know.
Then what do you think about mindset and then being an entrepreneur?
That I believe in.
Yeah.
Because it's all about it's the lens in which you choose to see the world, you know? Like, so it's funny, the other day, I went to the gym and my driver was waiting for me because he takes me to the gym, he waits for me, I work out, you know, that's a great thing about Dubai. But I said, hey, brother, can you go and find out, because our washing machine was leaking. So I said, can you go to the place where we bought the washing machine and ask them to schedule a service tech? So he goes there and he's texting me while I'm at the gym. I'm trying to work out. And he's like, oh, I give them your phone number and they can't find it. And I'm like, all right, we'll give them this number. They can't find that either. They can't find your account. They can't find your account. I'm like, ugh. I'm like, all right, I'll talk to you about it when I get back. So I get back in the car and I say, okay, who did you talk to? And he says, well, I talked to the lady at the customer service. I'm like, did you ask for a manager? No. I'm like, okay, right there. I said, you know, how much did you press the lady at the counter? Well, what can I do? She said that she couldn't find it. And I'm like, okay, here's how you deal. Here's how an A player deals with a B player and gets them to do what they want and because A players know that B players don't know how to think. So they teach them how to think to get the job done. So it's like, okay, if your job was on the line, if you got fired, if you didn't find this account, could you find it? Well, yeah, if I was gonna get fired, I could find it. Great. How would you do that? Well, I would do this, this, and that. I would talk to this person. Okay, great. Then do that.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh my God. I'm like, yes, there you go, bro. Like, that's how you deal with it, right? That's a 3-step system. Look, this is a 3-step system for dealing with stupid people. Could you do it if the earth was gonna end, right? Yes, you could. How would you do it? Oh, okay, do that.
Yeah.
All right? That is how you get people who are not awake to get the job done. You just go through those 3 steps. Simple. All right? I don't know why I told you that, or what question you asked, but
mindset. It was about mindset.
Yeah, but see, mindset. Yeah. So the mindset of a B player is this person couldn't get me what I wanted. They could not solve my problem. Therefore, I still have the problem. An A player thinks, okay, this person can solve the problem. They're just not thinking through it. So I'm going to help them out so that they can get it done so I can move on with my freaking day and accomplish 100 times more than the average person. And this is just one way you can do that. So to me, mindset is not sitting there, you know, getting up in the morning and instead of working, getting in some cold plunge or meditating or whatever and giving yourself affirmation. I am grateful. I am grateful. I'm confident. No, it's just shut up. Okay. Like, my God, get a cup of coffee, sit down and work. All right. Mindset to me is learning how to navigate life. See, most people are concerned with how life should be, not how life is.
Yeah.
People who make a lot of money and succeed, they go, no, it doesn't matter how it should be. This is how it is. I need to navigate that.
I agree.
That is mindset, not all this hippie, flowery bullshit, okay? That is mindset.
Yeah. So it's basically what people like to say is it ought to be this, right?
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah.
right? You need to work in reality.
Yeah.
In
Do you want to be right or do you want to win?
Bro, that's so true, man. Like, I tell people that, but then they get so mad. They just like, but it should be like this. It's unethical. I don't know what the fuck.
Okay, great. Bitch about it and be poor. Okay? I mean, and look, I used to do that.
Everyone used
I
to do it.
understand that. But I started reading books and I learned that people who were rich just don't think like that. So I started to think like them. And holy crap, I got rich.
Yeah.
You know, amazing, you know? So it's really not about it. Learning skills is great, but you got to know how to think. And again, poor people are just people who don't know what rich people know. And if you can just go out and figure out what they know, you will become rich. It's that simple. If you just go through life with blinders on, only focusing on that one concept, you will succeed. You will win at life.
Do you think it's a little bit of like cope from the average person? They say rich people do this, are evil or something because they're lazy. That's why they say those things.
Well, no, it's not because they're lazy. It's because if you say, it's very hard for somebody who doesn't make the money they want to make, they don't have the body they want, they don't have the life they want, to say, well, this person over here that does only does because they cheated.
Yeah.
Because if you admit that that person simply worked harder than you, they simply did more than you, they simply put in more effort, then you have to admit that you're lazy and you're wrong and you just didn't put in the effort and you don't deserve it. And that's hard for people to admit, so they don't say that. They, oh, he's a scammer, right? You know, oh, you know, it's so funny because you'll go to college, you'll pay these hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to college, you'll get out of college, you won't get the job that you went to school for, and that's not a scam, but you pay like a fraction of that to somebody to teach you a marketing tactic, and you're like, oh, I didn't make $1 million in 5 minutes because I didn't log into the course. I want a refund. Give me a refund. Okay.
You're like a cartoon, man.
You know, I'm gonna call my bank and charge back because I'm a lazy asshole. Okay, like that's how people. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't ever refund, even if the thing sucks.
Yeah, I've never refunded anything.
No, because you know what I learned? I learned how they sold it. I learned how they delivered it. I learned how they fulfilled it.
And what not to do.
And what not to do.
Yeah.
Okay? And so, like, I just don't refund. I don't care if it sucks. You got me. Ooh, let me figure out how you got me. Let me look at that copy, right?
Yeah.
You know? That's how an A player thinks. B players, they're only concerned with the money in front of their face, not the future money that's 100 times bigger down the line.
Yeah, true. You know, the college thing really struck me because I'm a dropout. Basically,
Me too.
I studied. You did?
Yeah, I dropped out. Yeah.
So I was in electrical engineering in Singapore. Okay, and I dropped out because a lot of reasons. But I looked at the average wage of an electrical engineer in Singapore. It was like US dollars, like 3,000 or something. So I'm going to do all this work, spend all that money just to become average, basically. And then that doesn't make sense to me. Then that's when I knew like there's something wrong with the system. But when I tell people that, college degree is just not worth it. It depends. If you want to be a doctor, it's
well,
worth
you
it,
be a
right?
doctor.
Right.
But there's always that guy. Ew, well, what about doctors and lawyers? Well, no shit, Sherlock. Yes, you got to go to law school to be a lawyer. Okay, fine. 2 jobs. All right, like relax.
Yeah, lawyer,
relax.
doctor.
Calm down. Detective. Okay, but yes, those couple of jobs. Yes.
Would you say you have a son, right?
Yes.
If he said I wanted to go to college, what would you tell him?
I mean, I think by now he probably wouldn't because he gets it. It depends. I would be like, would I ask him why? Why do you want to go to college? Because I want to do this. Do you think you need to go to college to do that? And I would use the Socratic method, and I would allow him to come to his own conclusion by asking the right questions. Because if I tell him don't go, he'll go just to, piss me off. But if I use Socratic questioning, then I can lead him to his own conclusion all on his own.
Give me an example, man, of a question that you would ask.
So like Socratic questioning, for that example, I'd be like, what makes you want to go to college? Well, I want to make a lot of money. So let's say he wants to make a lot of money, okay? So that's the only reason you want to go to college, to make a lot of money. It's not to network, it's not to this or that. No, it's because I want to make a lot of money. Okay, what do you want to learn to make a lot of money? Okay, I want to learn business. Okay, so you want to go to college and learn from people that make $40,000, $50,000 a year on how to make hundreds of thousands a year. Is that what you want to do?
No.
Yeah, you know, or would you rather hang out with your pops who makes millions and just ask me questions and we can go fishing? Oh, I want to go fishing, you know? So it depends on how the conversation goes, but I would simply ask, like, look, do you know how much college professors make? No, Dad, how much do they make? They make dick, okay? All right? Would you rather learn from someone, would you rather learn how to make money from someone who makes millions or who makes dick, okay? Oh, I'd rather learn from someone that makes millions. Okay, well, nobody that teaches at college makes millions of dollars. And if they do, they came in for like a Saturday seminar, okay? That's it. So, what do you think the right choice is? Oh, I should learn from a millionaire. Okay, well, if you don't want to learn from your dad, I can hook you up with a lot of different mentors that are friends of mine. All good. What do you want? And he's going to come to his own conclusion. But if he says, I want to go to college because I want to be a doctor, well, I'm not going to let him operate on somebody without knowing what he's doing. You know, I probably wouldn't send him to America to learn, but I would, you know, I would support that.
Okay. So, shit, I lost my train of thought. But you said dick so many times.
Sorry, I stopped you.
Okay. So, do you think college will survive in the future? Do you think people will still go college?
No, eventually that'll become, if it does, I think education, obviously higher education will always be around, but I don't think it'll be in the form that it is now because too many people are waking up to the fact that college is a scam. The numbers don't make sense. People aren't making the money they're promised.
But on average, college degrees make more money, Dan.
What, than the guy that works at McDonald's? What a bar. Oh my God, what a bar. Yeah, that's not skewed data. That's like the wage gap. You know, like, oh, the WNBA player only makes this much money.
Yeah, nobody watches
the NBA, nobody watches the WNBA. Okay, they make like $100 million or whatever. Not even, no, probably not even. And the friggin' NBA makes hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars. Yes. Do you know the WNBA players get paid more than the NBA players? Because if you look at percentage of total sales, they get paid several percentage points more than the NBA. So they actually get paid more.
Like due to just like equality? Is that why they did it?
I don't know. I just think that nobody watches it, so who cares? Pay them, you know? Like, I mean, like it's they don't have as many expenses at the NBA because the NBA has like super big productions because they're making a lot of money. I don't know why they did it. I just know that an NBA player gets this percentage of the pot and a WNBA player gets this percentage. The only problem is this pot is way big. This big, and the WNBA pot is a little bit this big because nobody wants to watch women play basketball. I don't know why. There's tons of women on the planet. Go watch your sisters play. Don't come crying to me that nobody watches your sport. It's not my fault, okay? I watch women fight in UFC all the time. I just don't like basketball. I don't watch either, okay? Talk to somebody else. It's not my fault, you know? So, yeah.
How do we even
I don't even know.
Yeah, bro. How did we even get to this point? Anyway.
But it's just basic business. You know, when I saw that, I was just like, this is insane. Like, imagine you were a sales rep and you were like, you're a woman and this sales rep over here is a man. And this man sold $1 million in revenue, you sold 100,000. And you both got a 10% commission. You make 10 grand, he makes 100 grand. Are you gonna complain that the man got paid more? No, you wouldn't.
Yeah.
Because you know math, okay? He made more for the company. You didn't. So you got paid less. NBA makes more. WNBA makes less. Do I have to spell it out again? Okay? So I'm just saying, man. I don't even care because it's like, do I like feminism, modern feminism? No, but that's not why it annoys me. It annoys me because it doesn't make business sense, and people don't see that, and that irritates me even more. Like, it's basic business.
Basic math.
Basic math.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man.
Okay, we're going to move over to the society stuff later, but just one last thing before. Okay, I answered this question the other day from someone, but I want to hear your response. So let's say I'm a video editor. Okay, I can edit videos. And I said to you, I want to make a lot of money with it, from like starting from zero. But I have this skill. What will you do?
Well, first, most video editors are, well, they think that editing a video is what makes a great video. It's not, okay? It's what's in the video. And so I have reels that I've recorded with millions of views, and I just took my phone and went, because I knew what to say.
Yep.
Right? So I believe that if you're a video editor, okay, you're not going to make a ton of money. Sorry, because that is more of a commodity of a skill. However, if you can transfer what you do into something that is not a commodity, starving crowd. Because look, there's not a starving crowd for video editors. There's a ton of video editors.
You could argue that it's a starving crowd for good video editors.
Not really. I mean, not really. Because why do people want video edited? Why?
They want their videos to look good. They want to make more sales from potentially the video, from the video editing.
So they want views and sales. They don't want video editing. They want views and sales. A video editing is simply a means to an end. So if as a video editor, you stop worrying about your stupid little Adobe Premiere friggin' effects and stuff, and with the caption, my caption looks better than someone else. That clearly means that there's going to sell more video. No, it doesn't. Okay, it doesn't mean anything. It means dick. Okay,
yep.
So if you learn how to edit video and how to coach your people, and maybe even give them scripts that make them a lot of money, then here's what happens. Now you become worth more. You become more valuable, so you can demand more. Imagine for a moment you had a client that you knew you could like 10x their sales if they shot certain types of videos. And you could do something performance. You'd be like, okay, fine, pay me 10%. Give me 10% of, or 20% of all of my videos. I did the same thing. So remember how I told you I charge $100,000 for script writing for a live event? Well, sometimes someone will come to me and they'll say, well, I don't want to pay $100,000. I say, how big is your audience? Well, I have a huge audience. Okay, pay me $25,000 and give me 40 or 50% of the revenue, or you can pay me 100 grand. They'll give me the I don't know why. They give me the 25. And they're like, okay, I'll give you half. I'll say, give me the half of the first 3 events. And they'll say, okay, I'll give you half. I'll end up getting hundreds of thousands of dollars in residuals. So they could have paid 100, but they end up paying 500 because they didn't realize I was that good.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's like, so you see, so learn how not to do the skill, but learn how to achieve the result that the skill supposedly promises. Because most people don't do that. They learn the skill. They don't learn how to get the result. If you focus on the output and not the process and the input, but you only focus on the output, you will learn what you need to do to get people a major result, and then you can demand more in any category.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you're right. Okay, man. Now we can get into other stuff. So, why did you move from America to Dubai?
Oh man, you're gonna make me piss off all the Americans. Listen, I like what America used to be. I don't like what it has become, and that does not mean I don't like Americans. I feel bad for Americans. I mean, dude, in 22 states, you have to have a 6-figure income to afford an entry-level crappy home, like to buy a home. When I was a kid, dude, if you made 100 grand a year, you could afford a nice place. You could live a great life. People who make 100 grand a year in America now are living paycheck to paycheck. You can't send your kids to school because if they have a bad day, all of a sudden the teacher's telling them they need to be a girl or a unicorn or a tree or some other weird Martian. I don't freaking know. Or they're a Martian at 12 p.m. and they're a tree at 5. You know, they're a fluid Martian, okay? Like, that's nuts. It's bananas, you know? So I didn't want my kid around that. And look, it started where, oh, you heard a story. Then it was on the news. Then it was on social media. Then I'm walking down the street at a family fun parade and some drag queen comes up to me with his junk completely exposed, leans down and says hi to my kid. I told him, I'm going to take your head off if you don't turn your ass around and skip away, okay, in your little glitter shoes, okay? And I'm not shy about that because I don't care what you do with your personal life. Well, what do I care? I got stuff to do. I'm not worried about what you do. No, nobody doesn't like people from that community because of how they choose to live their life. They don't like them because some of them are assholes, okay? And they try to harm children. That's why. Nobody cares what they do with their life. And that has become wildly, wildly, wildly overgrown in America. And I don't think most people in America like it. And so between that, the taxes, very violent society. You know, I land in America from here. Within 5 minutes, someone is screaming at me in traffic, threatening me with a gun. You know, like that. Would that ever happen here?
No, not in Dubai.
No, it's not allowed.
Yeah, it's not
you know?
allowed.
But look, here's the other thing, right? Most people in America don't know this stuff. They're programmed to think that Dubai is, oh, you hate women.
I'm gonna get to that later. 100%.
Okay,
Yeah.
like it's like completely the opposite. You know, women are highly protected here, and so I just think a lot of it is they don't know that there's better places out there, so they don't leave. They don't take their American money and go live a better place. You know the guy from the Nomad Capitalist?
No.
Oh, he's this guy. He has a YouTube channel. He talks about like how to move and live abroad. He has a great saying. He says, "Go where you're treated best." I believe at one point in America we were treated good, and maybe we will be again. Maybe if you know, Trump gets in.
No, you said it.
Well, listen, I don't care. Okay, look, output. You can say whatever you want. You can be weird. You can be aggressive. I don't care. But if the output is better, you got my vote. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, and if you can take a bullet, shoot, bro, you're a G. Like, damn. Like, as soon as that happened, I was like, all right. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You know. But I try not to get involved in American politics too much because I don't live there, so I don't really have a dog in the fight. You know. But the point is that if you know, I don't think Americans are treated good by their government anymore. So I love America. I love Americans. But I don't like how they're treated, and I don't like how I and my family is treated. So I left. I bounced, and I'm a lot happier here.
Was it a hard decision for you?
No.
Really?
No.
Not at all.
Because I got money. If I didn't have money, it would be a hard decision.
But it's not just that, right? It's about the people you know, the friends, the family.
Well, okay, I'll tell you this. It was hard because I had an interim. I actually moved from America to Costa Rica, and that was a little bit hard. But then when I visited Dubai, I like literally landed, and within an hour I was like, I'm moving here, you know, because if you've never been to Dubai, you think it's this terrible place with Muslims, okay, and then you get here and you're like, whoa, this is great!
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm moving here. You know, you could be like a staunch, like you could literally be a staunch, like MAGA, red-wearing American with like a, you know, friggin' beer in one hand and a shotgun in the other, and you could just be like, I don't like Muslims, and then you come over here and you look at what's around you, you'd be like, all right, I'm coming. You know, like it's just that nice. You don't care, you know.
So when you moved to from America to Dubai, you had like, I remember you talked about it on Instagram about the taxes that you had to do when you left America.
So I didn't go through this. I actually still pay American taxes.
Oh, you still have to.
Yeah. So here's what most people don't know about America is if you want to leave, they punish you. So think about this. It's supposed to be a free country, but if you want to give up your passport, live abroad, and not pay American taxes, not use any of the resources anymore, not pay American taxes, they charge you a 50% exit tax. Huge exit tax.
On your
assets, on your net worth. They value your company.
And upfront?
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yes.
Upfront.
Yeah, that's the cost to leave. So if you go to a party and you're like, oh, this party's cool, right? But you know what? I'm not feeling it anymore. You know, I would like to leave. And they say, okay, well, give me half the money in your pocket and now you can leave. Is that free?
No.
That's technically imprisonment. America is the only country in the world that charges you on your worldwide income. So if you go live somewhere else and you still are an American, they want every penny.
Yeah.
Now, like most people don't know that. Okay, so this whole free country thing, bro, I'm a marketer. I know marketing when I hear it. That's not true. That's just marketing. And again, I feel bad for Americans because they're just not awake to this.
Do you think? So you think it's like the government's purposely making them ignorant?
Yes. Oh, have you ever seen the Kardashians? Like, have you ever seen any American?
Follow them,
exactly, because you're rich. Okay. Look, America puts out dumb programming to keep people dumb. That's what they do. You think the Kardashians and all these Jersey Shore, do you think these shows were developed just because they thought it was a good idea? No. It's to make people, again, poor people are simply people that don't know what rich people know. They're not bad people. They're not stupid people. They're people. This has happened for thousands of years in societies. Thousands of years. How they controlled society was they simply restricted access to information. And now they know they can't restrict access to information anymore because it's too free. So what do? They do the next best thing. They distract you with stupidity. That's what they do. That's how they do it. This is what it means to, Andrew Tate talks about it. He says, freeing yourself from the matrix. The matrix is you're like, oh, that's a great show. Freeing yourself from the matrix is going, I know the purpose of that and I'm not falling for it. That's the difference.
Yeah, it's just awareness.
Awareness.
Right, and knowledge. Do you think that people, the poor people that we say, right? There are people that defend the system as well. You know that, right?
Because they're taught to. Look, there's an old saying. The greatest lie the devil ever told was convincing you that he did not exist. If a society, if a government wants to control you, they keep you down and then they make you defend their ability to keep you down. That, again, read the freaking law. If anybody watching this, read the 48 Laws of Power and you'll immediately close the book and go, oh, crap. Oh, gee. Okay, you'll see what all these countries do. These Western countries, all of them, they do this. And throughout, look, America's what, 200-300 years old? Okay, it's a baby. There's been many, many, many governments and societies that came before it that have done the same thing. And look, Americans left Britain to escape religious persecution, to escape unfair taxation. And what happened? We're right back to it.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's not because America is bad. That's simply the nature of people. People get in power, they get greedy, and they go, ooh, let's make classes. I want to be the elite. I want these people to be poor. I got to make sure these people don't know too much, because if they know what I know, ooh, they're going to come over to the elite side. We got to keep them over here. So let's give them Jersey Shore and the Kardashians and all this stupid programming so that they're distracted with that. Let's give them these stupid political wars so they're focused on what's in between their legs, which all they have to do is look down, But let's have them talk about that instead of really realizing the real stuff that's going on, Again, my father, he taught me something that was very profound. He said, those who ignore history are doomed to repeat it. Yep. If you study history, you will know what's going on.
It happened before, actually. All of this.
It happens every time.
Yeah.
It's happening again. And people are just eating it up. They're just eating the stupid. Big bowl of stupid. Just, they just love it.
I always tell people that all these political wars and LGBT, whatever it is, it's literally just to keep you distracted.
Yes. Oh, it still sucks. It still sucks to have to.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I don't want my kid to see that, but dude, you can sleep with someone of the same sex without sticking your ass in my face, okay? You don't have to do that. You can dress normal. You don't have to dress all weird and provocative and sexual. You can just go be gay, okay? That shouldn't mean offending people and making people uncomfortable with your weirdness. It just means go do the gay thing, okay? Right? So I don't think people anymore have a problem with the gay thing. They have a problem with the behavior. That's the problem. And I know a lot of gay people that actually are annoyed by it because they're like, well, we're not like that. This makes us look bad, But you're right. It still is made to distract you from the real heinous stuff, Yeah,
it's like a circus.
Yeah, it's very distracting. Yeah, it's like a big gay circus.
Big gay circus.
Yeah, that's how they're dressed. The advocates. So yeah.
Okay, so
you wanted some controversy. You invited the right guy.
I got it. I got it. You reverted to Islam.
I did.
Right. And when I first looked at you, I was like, that's not a typical depiction of a Muslim.
No.
Yeah, right.
No.
And I knew you were Muslim because I saw your wife in a niqab.
Oh,
there's no way a niqabi is going to marry someone who's not Muslim.
No, yeah.
So
I get people that comment and they go, "Sister, you know that you have to. He has to be Muslim to marry." And she just rolls her eyes. She's like, "Because he's white, he's not Muslim."
Yeah.
You know, like what?
So walk me through, why did you do it? Because Americans use it, like you said, I hate Muslims.
Oh, I hated Muslims. I was programmed. Dude, go watch any Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. You see an Arab with an AK-47 going, Allah Akbar. Yeah. Of course, if you're American, you're going to hate Muslim. I don't blame them. They're programmed to do so. Okay? However, I had an experience. Me and my wife were divorced, and she reverted to Islam, and I got really worried. I was like, oh my God. You know, my son's going to come home sitting there making bombs and stuff for school projects, you know. And he's going to want flying lessons. This is bad.
This episode is so fun.
and so I was like, at first, I was like, okay, well, this is clearly not a good idea, you know, because again, I didn't like Muslims. So I said to her, I said, you can't make him Muslim. And she's like, no, I'm going to make him Muslim. And I got all angry. And then I went and I thought about it. And I said, okay, wait a minute. If he's not Muslim, he just goes out into the world is going to tell him to like be a girl or be trans or be a tree or a, you know, he's going to come home and say, I am Groot or something, you know. And so that's bad, right? But if he's Muslim, the chances of that happening are like 0, right? Or at least 0.0001. Yeah. So I'm sitting there and I'm just like, trans Muslim.
Oh my God, fuck, we're so far.
Trans Muslim. Muslim. And so I made an executive decision as a father. I called my wife, ex-wife at this time, and I said, look, screw it, make him Muslim. And she's like, what? Why? And I'm like, and I broke it down for her, and she's like, you're such a marketer. You know, she's like, you're such a business guy. You just calculate, you know? So then I was like, okay, well, if he's going to be Muslim, I got to learn about this stuff. Yeah. I got to learn it because I always research your enemy, you know? So I get a Quran. I start going to the mosque. I go to his little activities, you know? And I'm like, I open it up and I'm reading it and I'm like, I look at the front to make sure it was the Quran. I'm like, wait a minute. Where's all the killing people thing and where's all the you know, where's all the terrorist stuff, you know? And I'm like reading it, and of course I know how to read, so I know context, you know, and so I'm reading it and I'm like, this isn't anything like they tell us in America. Nothing. Nope. And I'm like, and I read it, I'm like, this is good stuff, right? So I go to the mosque, I meet the nicest people ever, and you know, when you walk into a mosque, there's nobody sitting there with, you know, 10 pounds of makeup or like, you know, hey, how you doing? Here's the tray, you know, hey, let me get my Rolls Royce and just, you know, like there's none of that. It's very modest. It's very, if you give money, it goes right to the poor people. All the mosques are kind of crappy for good reason. They don't need to be extravagant because why would you make it extravagant? You're there to worship. Give it to the poor people. And I love that. And I actually saw just, to me, like a really great people and people that were really hospitable and just kind. And, you know, I was going through a really bad point in my life. I had everything a man could desire. Very, very, as we would now say, haram life. Very haram, very Jordan Belfort. And I was not happy. And one day I was just like, screw it. I walked in, I took Shahada.
Wow.
Yeah.
MashaAllah.
Yes, MashaAllah. And my wife was like, she's like, what? You know? And then very shortly after, we were just like, all right, well, this is stupid. Like, let's just get back together. Like, why are we going to not be a family? And our kid doesn't have our parents and all this. Like, this is dumb, you know? And so we got back together, and that was about, at this point, almost 2 years ago. And then we went and we lived in America for a while. Did not like it. Sucks to be a Muslim in America.
Did you actually feel discrimination?
No, it's not that. It's just there's no mosque anywhere. There's no prayer rooms. There's no halal food. It's just a pain in the ass.
You lived in Florida.
Yeah. I mean, there's mosques, but it's like you got to drive 30 minutes, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's a Christian country, right?
Yeah, and no, I mean, look, we would go out and my wife would wear a niqabi, and within 5 minutes, some Karen would walk up to her and be like, "Did he make you wear that?
Really?
I bet you're beautiful under there. Why are you so oppressed?" Right? And then my wife would, of course, spend the next 30 minutes teaching her how everything she just said was wrong.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you grab a hijab off of a sister, they'll scratch your eyes out. Like, you know, it ain't had nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
But most Americans don't know that. They think it's the opposite, right? And so
people actually come up to her and say that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I've had people come up to me in America and be like, "Why do you make her wear that?"
Really?
Yeah. It's not, and look, I don't want to be like, "Look, it's not my fault that you're ignorant to this and you don't know how this works and you don't know that they actually want to wear it and it brings them closer to God." And I could break it all down, but I don't because I want to go. I got shit to do.
Yeah.
My wife will sit there for 30 minutes and give them a sermon, and then we'll walk 10 more feet, and then it'll happen again. And so I will never get to where I need to go. So it's like, all right, we're moving, right? So we go to Costa Rica, and that was beautiful, but it's slow. You know, entrepreneur, I need speed, you know? And then when we came to Dubai, no one said anything.
I mean,
it's normal here.
Yeah, it's normal.
And here's what happened. I saw how happy she was, and I was like, I get mega husband points for this. Yes. So I'm like, let's move to Dubai. And she's like, really? And she's so happy. Like, I was complaining about traffic the other day. She's like, I don't care. I love it here. This is amazing. I wear my jacuzzi. Nobody says anything to me. There's halal food everywhere. I don't care. I love it. I love it. And I'm like, as long as the wife is happy, you know, I'm good. Plus, I like it here anyway. So.
Did she always wear a niqab? Or?
No, she started with like a hijab and normal clothes. Then she moved to full, like,
because she wanted to do it, right?
Yeah. Dude, she did that before we ever got remarried. Yeah. You know what she told me? She says, "I'll remarry you on one condition. Don't ever tell me to take off my burqa." Because personally, I'll be honest with you, it's not really my thing. I'm fine with jeans and a hijab. Like, you know, I'm used to America, right? Yeah. So if you, unless you're not, like you go out on a Friday night in Florida, like every woman looks like the girls at the hotels here, okay? They just don't charge, okay? So to me, a hijab and a pair of jeans is like super modest. Yeah. So I'm fine, right? You know, I'm all good. But she loves that thing, and so it makes you happy to wear it, you wear it. But if it was my preference, no. You know. So yes, it's a big misconception.
I saw one of your reels where you did the Jedi. Oh
yeah.
You're a Sith, and then. I thought it was funny, man.
Yeah.
And then people got so mad in the comments.
No, most people thought it was funny. A couple people got mad.
Like saying oppression and.
Oh, you mean the people? Oh yeah, the Westerners. Yeah, they
oppression and stuff like that.
Well, they just don't understand. I'm not mad at them. Yeah. They just don't. They don't get it. They don't get it. Like, if you grew up your whole life and you were taught XYZ, but in reality it was ABC, can you be blamed for thinking it's XYZ? You know, like.
True, but at the same time, it's like maybe do more research before you comment.
Well, listen. Then where would my engagement be? Okay.
Okay, comment.
Like, come on.
Like, call him a dick. Fuck him.
like, listen. Dude, every time I post a reel with my wife, he gets like 1 million views. Like, she's in the corner, like off camera. You just see her for a second, it gets 1 million views. I posted one yesterday, it's 300,000 views. Like, it's crazy. Like I didn't know. You know what's funny? It's like you would think that the girls with their boobs out and everything, that would get the views. No, the niqabi sister gets millions of views.
Yeah. There was another reel about you. You were walking around Dubai and said, "This is beautiful, it's clean, and it's the best."
Yeah. Oh, I did that on purpose.
I know you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because people think that it was built. Every time I release a reel on Dubai, an American comments, or 100 of them, and says, "Hey, that was built on slave labor."
I want to talk about that.
What do you think America was built on? They were actually cold slaves.
Yeah.
Okay, and they didn't come here by choice. Okay, they were forced to come here. And look, when I got here, I was thinking that. I was like, and I asked my driver, I asked several taxi drivers, and they all told me the same thing. They said, "Listen, do we get paid a lot? No. Do we live in the nicest houses? No. Do we work long hours? Yes. Does it kind of suck? Yes. But it's 10 times better than our home country. So we came here to work, and we have enough money to live and send money back home."
Yeah.
So if you have enough money to live here and send money back home to pay for your family, it must not be as bad as at least it's made out to be. And I'm sure that there's still, like, in every country there's bad places. There's people who are super poor.
Yeah.
That's normal. But to say that everybody that lives here is a slave is wildly off the mark.
It's inaccurate.
It's totally inaccurate.
But oh my God, going down the rabbit hole.
What else do you want to? What other polarizing topics do you want to cover?
So
I come in here, you're like, can I ask some business questions? And then everything is just hyper polarizing, like just offensive.
that's what you're known for as well, isn't it?
I know. It's okay.
I have this because I had a reel also I did on Dubai and why I moved here as well, and it's always the Western people telling me how bad Dubai is.
Yeah.
Right.
The people who've never been here.
Yeah, the people who've never been.
Yeah. Let's listen to them.
And the biggest thing, I think I don't know, it's a problem that I have with Westerners is they like to impose their moral arguments on other countries.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
one thing I cannot stand.
Well, not knowing anything about a culture and then imposing your culture on them is the very facet of being American. Okay, like that's what we do. Respect my culture, man. Okay.
Yeah.
No, but in all seriousness, it comes down again. America has a lot of opportunity, right? Like if you're in America, you have a lot of opportunity to win, but that opportunity comes at a price. It comes at a price of ignorance, because American government and media hyper controls their people, like North Korea level. They're just better at selling it. They're better at selling it. People look at North Korea and they go, oh, they're clearly controlling their people. People look at America and go, oh, everything's great. They're just really good at it, you know? And the thing is that I believe what they think they're doing is right. Like they think that they're freeing people by, oh, let's go over and shoot a bunch of people and tear all the hijabs off of women to liberate them. And when in reality, that's not good. Like that, they want to wear that. Like you're not liberating. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't countries in the region that do bad stuff, but most Muslim countries are very peaceful, very chill.
Yep.
You know, you take like the one over here that's just like really, you know, going hard, and you're like, oh, that's all of them, you know. And so I hear you. I definitely hear you. I think that it's coming. I think the people support it because they think it's good, but the governments are doing it for other reasons, and they're just getting the people on their side for it. They're manipulating the people. I truly believe that your average American, if he truly understood other cultures, they are good people and they would not do that. But they don't understand it. And so they're manipulated into being imperialists.
Okay. Shit. I don't have any problem with Americans. I don't have a problem with anyone, actually.
Yeah.
I have problem with governments, but I don't have problems with the average person, to be honest.
No, well, because again, you have to have a little bit of empathy for people who are mind controlled.
100%.
You know, and that's not just America. That's
everywhere.
It's everywhere. It's just
even Europe.
America manifests itself in a certain way versus other countries. You know,
I think the problem is that America, anything that happens in America, it goes to the whole world. Like when I was in Singapore, everyone watches American TV.
Yeah, because everybody wants to watch a train wreck.
Yeah, it's just Hollywood and
So well, we do make the best movies. We make the best movies. Okay,
very innovative.
We have the worst food, but we make the best movies. Okay, our food is terrible, dude. There is no worse food on this planet than American food. It sucks, but the movies, they're fantastic. So you eat that crappy food, and it gives you stomach cancer, but at least you got to eat it while watching an amazing film. Yes.
The movies in America are the best.
Yes, they're amazing. Yes.
When I was in Singapore, everyone watches American. It's all American stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. And the biggest problem I had with, not necessarily the media, but like people in Singapore started to worship America. Yeah. As like, this is what morality looks like.
Oh my God.
bro.
The least moral country.
It was like, this is freedom. This is.
But see, that's why they're so good at it. You know,
It's
like, okay,
emotions.
all right, think about this for a second, right? America says we're for women's rights, yet you have Hooters, a restaurant that is literally named Tits, okay? All right? Like, Hooters means tits, all right? So does Twin Peaks, which is another popular, you know, Twin Peaks,
Yeah,
you know?
I get it.
Okay, all right? Like, they encourage women to dress like prostitutes. Like, it's hyper encouraged over there. And they encourage extremely promiscuous behavior, and they paint it as being a strong feminist, right? And they visually depict women in these very provocative positions. Like, they objectify women and they call it feminism. Like, imagine the mental gymnastics you have to go through to objectify a woman's body and call that being for women.
Yeah.
Over here, women are protected. You can't even cuss at a woman. You go to jail.
Yeah.
They're done. Okay? You can't say a bad word to a woman. You can't go and touch a woman. You know, in America, you can go up and harass a woman for 20 minutes and nothing happens. You do that here? Bye-bye.
Deport.
Goodbye. Yeah. You're gone. Okay? And so women are safer here than anywhere else in the world. Every woman I know that lives here, when I ask them that, I say, oh, you know, Americans think that you're a president. Like, okay, you know, but again, that's not Americans' fault. They are taught that. They are taught that, okay? And if you just get on a plane, and Emirates economy is nicer than any first class in America. Trust me, just get on a plane and come over here, okay? And you will see for yourself.
Yeah.
You will see for yourself. And so, yeah.
Okay.
You gonna ask me any business questions?
I really did. Okay, so let's move on from this topic because this episode is gonna get fucked on YouTube. Anyway, okay.
Oh, I'm salivating for my editors to chop this up for my Instagram.
The guy is like, shit. Okay, man.
This is why you don't meet many Americans. This is the most American thing to do. Yeah. So, like, I am very American because I just, you know.
But it's good you stand for what you believe in.
So. Yeah, that's true. That's a very American thing that I appreciate about American culture, standing with what you believe in.
Let's move on to
even if it's 5,000 genders floating.
Stop it. Stop. Let's move on to the small questions that I want to ask you, okay?
Okay.
What are the top 3 books you would recommend someone to read?
Oh, so many. Okay, so I would say well, I have 4 books that I really like, okay? So I'm going to give you 4. So one of them is The Game by Neil Strauss. It's actually a book.
It's a pickup book.
Yes, but if you just replace the word woman with customer, it's the greatest marketing lesson ever. Like, all of those tactics in there are, when I read that book, I was like, wait a minute, this is marketing. Like, these nerds figured out how to use marketing to get chicks. Like, this is marketing, right? It's a very good marketing book if you really, really look at it from that lens. There's another book, 52 Object Lessons for Children. Yeah, no, it's a book on how to use objects to explain concepts to children. Well, guess what? Customers, they're basically children. Okay? Because look, when you're trying to explain what you do, most people don't get it. So if you learn how to go, okay, little Timmy, okay, and you use objects to explain it, they can understand it. And a confused customer never buys. So that book will teach you how to explain things and really simplify them so that people can understand them, okay? Another book is Made in America by Sam Walton, who was the founder of Walmart. And the thing you'll learn in that book is the attention to detail you need to have to be successful. So Sam, what he used to do was, because he started with one retail store and he grew it to the biggest retail chain in the world. So he would take the aisles, right? And so let's say that these two books represent aisles. See, I'm doing an object lesson, by the way. And he would, one week, he would make the width of the aisle like this big. And he'd calculate how many people walked through and how much money they spent. Then he'd widen it. And he would do that for a week. And he'd calculate the same thing. And then he would narrow it. And he would figure out what width of aisles produced the most revenue per person that walked through. And he would do these incredibly detailed experiments, okay? And he slowly, 1% at a time, he literally, like, success is a series of very small decisions added up over time. And so when you approach life and business like that, with that level of detail, you can win. Obviously, this was before I was Muslim, but I used to own a bar years ago. And I knew nothing about bars, nothing. I just watched Bar Rescue. But what I knew was how to test and interpret data. So I would say to all the bartenders, this week, when you go to upsell a drink, you're going to say the exact phrase, would you like another? And then the next week, you're going to say, looks like you want another. Looks like you can use a refill. And we are going to test which phrase produces the most upsells. And I literally tested my way to the hottest spot in town, one of the most profitable establishments in town, and I sold it a year later for a $300,000 profit, which is unheard of in Florida. Bar business is extremely difficult in Florida. Yeah. And so if you don't have a mentor, if you don't have any leg up, even knowledge, you can test your way to success.
Yeah, it's kind of like in the online space where you're split testing all the time.
Yes, but we know that. But, but most people in the real world don't know that. And that simple concept of a split test is like mind-blowing to your average business owner, because it's not just something you do on a website. Like, you can do that in all aspects of life. You can do it with your wife. Yeah. You know, you get in trouble? Okay, buy her flowers. See how that works.
Buy chocolates?
Okay, chocolates. Okay? Like, I literally split test all of this.
It works.
It does work. It's the cheat code to life.
That's the fucking thing. It actually works.
It does work. Yeah.
Okay. I've never actually heard of that book by the Walmart guy.
Yeah. Sam Walton.
Should I read it?
Yes, you should read it. Only unless you hate money.
I don't hate money, but
well, then you should read it.
My favorite copywriting book, advertising, it's David Ogilvy. Do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love his book.
Oh man, I love my favorite copywriting book, actually, and I've read a lot of them, is Magnetic Story Selling.
Dan Kennedy.
By Dan Kennedy. Yeah, Russell Brunson and Dan Kennedy, which I was actually the person responsible for selling that book, believe it or not.
Really?
So I won an affiliate contest. I got invited to Russell Brunson's headquarters, met Dan Kennedy, and Russell hands me a book. He says, this is a gift for being one of the top 10 affiliates. I said, well, what is it? He says, well, I took all these Dan Kennedy seminars that were like 20 grand a pop, just lost in the archives, and I transcribed them and I cleaned them up and I made this huge, gigantic book out of it. And I was like, bro, you could sell this for $1,000. And he goes, no, I can't. I'm like, yes, you can. I'm like, I can sell it for $2,000. He's like, oh, come on. And he didn't believe me. So I convinced him to let me host a 3-day virtual event where I taught how to write like Dan Kennedy. And at the end, I would sell the book for $2,000 a book.
Okay. How did that go?
I sold 122 copies.
Really?
Yeah. And he was like, oh, he was so impressed. He had me do the repitch at Super Conference.
So I'm
and
assuming,
then I almost doubled sales at Super Conference with my repitch.
Because you optimized it.
I just know what to say to make people buy.
I'm assuming you used the whole concept of the $20,000 of Dan Kennedy in the knowledge in that book to sell it. Was that what you did? I have no idea how you sold it. So.
Well, I know how to sell from stage. Okay. Like most people, when they try to scale a business, they think, oh, I'm going to do more advertising. Oh, I'm going to hire more salespeople. I don't think like that. I think I'm going to get a bunch of my target market in a room and I'm going to sell half the room. And I'm not going to use anybody else but good old Dan's mouth. Okay.
But going on stage is a big thing, man. You need to know how to speak, the tonality.
Yeah.
Right? It's a big skill to learn, right?
Well, that's why it's a big paycheck when you do it. Okay.
Russell Brunson said something as well about events and masterminds. And he said people will never stop going. to in-person mastermind, no matter what time. Do you think that's accurate?
That's true. And the next best thing is virtual. You know,
Virtual.
all of my $1 million
It's not the
days.
same, man.
Well, I've had $3 million days and they were all virtual.
No, I think for me as an experience, like being there.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. But the thing is, the conversion rate, I think you make more with virtual because the conversion rate is higher in person, but you get more people to the virtual because there's not the friction of a plane ride and hotel and all that. So, you know, the number one skill, honestly, you want to know the number one money-making skill? Learn to scale, learn to speak to scale. The number one money-making skill is to sell from stage. That is number one. How do you think Steve Jobs scaled Apple? Every year, he spoke at the annual event. He spoke to scale. The easiest way to scale a business for the least amount of money, the least amount of expense, and the least amount of risk is to speak to scale.
That's scary, man. But I will think about it.
You know, oh, dude, I could help you with that. What do you sell? What's your offer right now?
So I have a marketing agency where I help coaches and digital product creators create their offers, VSLs, emails, ads, everything from scratch.
Okay. And you do well with that?
Yeah.
So, I had a similar offer, right? And what I learned was, you know, you target one sector of the market. So I had this thing called the Raise Your Prices Challenge, and it was a virtual event. Now, here's how I think about it. If I am going to sell you a $20,000 boot camp, because it's easier what you sell done for you, right?
Yeah, done for you.
Yeah, done for you is easy to sell. Yeah, I know you're done.
Yeah.
done for you. I sold friggin' coaching, which is hard to sell.
Yeah.
Okay. And I sold a $20,000 boot camp to teach you how to sell your services, to sell your, you know, I don't sell it anymore, but that's what the offer was, for a high ticket price, to raise your prices and sell for that price, to outsell your competition even though you charge more. And so one of the analogies that I used when I was on stage, I said, listen, because I knew that people didn't think they were worth more. So you're not going to buy my boot camp if you don't think you're worth more, because you don't even think you're in play. So I knew that. So one of the things I said on stage, I said, listen, if you have 10 of your ideal clients walking down a beach and they come across a genie lamp and they rub the genie lamp and out pops a genie, and this genie's a capitalist, so he's only going to grant one wish to one person and he's going to make them bid on it. And that wish is to solve the exact problem that your product or service solves. How high would the bid get? And they all say, you know, I have them write down this number. Yeah. And it's always a big number, 50,000, 100,000, whatever, a million. And I said, okay, now next to that number, write down what you currently charge. And they're like, and they write it down. I said, okay, if there's a huge difference between those two numbers, you're undercharging. And the principle here is, if you don't know what you're worth, how do you expect your customers to know what you're worth? And so what happens here is people come to your event, they have a whole list of beliefs and objections preloaded into their head, and all of those things are boulders in the road preventing them from buying. They get to the end of the road, they buy. Your speech, you give value, but your speech simply takes one boulder at a time and moves it off the road as the event goes by, and eventually you get to the end, the road's clear, and when you ask for the sale, there's nothing preventing them from just driving right down that road and buying. So that is how, and when you do that, you can sell dozens and dozens of clients all at once for an incredibly low cost per acquisition, and you get fans for life.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry, the podcast guy's like 5 minutes left.
Yeah, they're really big about that. Yeah.
So we have to get another podcast in, man. I need to ask you more questions about business.
Yeah, you did.
This is just to make you go viral.
Yeah, this is a Joe Rogan version right here. Yeah.
Okay, man. So where can people find you? Your Instagram, YouTube?
My Instagram, it's all Dan Henry. My Instagram is @DanHenry. YouTube is Dan Henry. And, you know, I'm really trying to grow my YouTube. I'm working super, super hard on it. And then, yeah, that's it.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for today.
Yeah, bro.
Love it.
Awesome.
bro. So if you're a coach, consultant, agency owner, or digital product creator looking to scale to 7 or even 8 figures, click the link below and me and my team will craft your award-winning funnel from scratch and literally do everything for you. Once again, thank you for watching.